I never thought a stupid driveway would turn my peaceful suburb into a war zone. The whole mess started when our HOA president Karen decided my property belonged to the neighborhood. I am Dennis, 42-year-old IT guy who moved here for some quiet after my divorce. My house in Willow Creek Estates came with this long, wide driveway that I actually loved using. Karen rolled up in her golf cart one bright Tuesday like she owned the whole block already. She stepped out clutching that damn clipboard like it was a royal scepter or something. Dennis, the neighborhood has a terrible parking shortage because of all the new families moving in, she announced with her fake sweet smile. I listened politely, but my stomach already knew trouble was coming fast. She pointed at my driveway with that condescending little wave of hers. Your space is the biggest on the street and you live alone, so it can be guest overflow parking, she declared like it was already decided. I felt my blood pressure spike, but I kept my voice calm and steady. That is my private property, Karen, and nobody gets to just assign it to strangers, I told her firmly. She tilted her head and gave me that pitying look she always used on dissenters. Oh honey, the covenants are very clear about community cooperation, so please don't be selfish, she replied in her syrupy tone. The next morning the invasion began without any warning whatsoever. A blue sedan parked right in the middle of my driveway like it owned the place. Then a big SUV joined it by lunchtime and another truck showed up before dinner. I walked over to the first owner and asked him nicely to move his car. He just shrugged and said Karen had told everyone it was totally fine. This pattern repeated every single day and my own car got shoved to the edge. One afternoon a blocking truck kept me from backing out and I missed an important work call. Frustration burned in my chest as I sat there fuming in the driver's seat. I fired off a detailed email to Karen and copied the entire HOA board. Her reply came back in under an hour, dripping with pure condescension. Dennis, we all must sacrifice for the greater good of the subdivision, so stop complaining, she wrote. I installed professional no parking signs on my own property the very next weekend. They looked clean, legal, and completely within my rights as the owner. But Monday morning the signs were ripped down and replaced with a nasty HOA notice. It cited some vague rule about neighborhood aesthetics and was signed by Karen alone. I could practically hear her laughing from her perfect little house down the street. That was the exact moment I decided enough was enough and called a towing company. The operator confirmed everything was legal on private property and scheduled the first run. Early Saturday, the tow truck rumbled into my driveway with a satisfying roar. The chains clanked loudly as the first luxury sedan got hooked up and lifted away. Neighbors peeked out windows with their jaws hanging open in total shock. By noon 5 cars had been hauled off to the impound lot across town. The deep satisfaction I felt made the whole morning feel like sweet justice. Karen showed up at my door 20 minutes later, red-faced and furious. You cannot do this to our neighbors, Dennis, this is completely outrageous, she screamed. I leaned against the doorframe and kept my arms crossed calmly. Actually, I can because it is my land and I have every legal right, I answered evenly. She yanked out her phone and dialed 911 right there on my porch. The operator must have heard her dramatic claims of grand theft and neighborhood theft. Sirens wailed down the street just 20 minutes later with flashing lights. 2 officers stepped out looking already tired of this petty suburban drama. Karen pointed at me like I was a criminal and launched into her story. Officer, this man is stealing cars from the community and breaking all the rules, she cried. I handed over my property deed and pulled up the security camera footage quietly. The lead cop watched the videos, then turned to Karen with a flat expression. Ma'am, this is his private driveway, so he can tow whatever he wants off it, he stated. Her face turned an ugly shade of purple as her little power play crumbled. But Karen was far from finished with her campaign of revenge and rumors. She started a whisper network that painted me as the neighborhood villain. People stopped waving at the mailboxes and avoided eye contact completely. Anonymous notes appeared on my doorstep calling me antisocial and selfish. The isolation settled over me like a heavy fog, but I refused to break. Instead, I bought better cameras and started logging every email and incident. My folders filled up with proof of her overreach and trespassing on my land. She filed a formal HOA complaint accusing me of destroying community harmony. The big annual board meeting was set for the following Thursday night. I prepared a binder thick with evidence and brought my lawyer for backup. The community center was packed wall to wall with curious residents. Karen sat at the head table smirking like she still ran the whole show. She presented her case, first painting me as the enemy of the subdivision. Her voice rose theatrically as she listed my supposed terrible offenses. Then it was my turn and I stood up with my evidence ready. I laid out the printed emails showing her unilateral decisions without any vote. Security clips proved she had sneaked onto my property at night with signs. The forged covenant amendment with only her signature was the killing blow. Gasps rippled through the crowd as the truth finally hit everyone hard. The other board members looked stunned and completely betrayed by her. After a short, tense deliberation, they called for an immediate emergency vote. Karen was removed as president by a unanimous landslide decision right there. Her face twisted in shock and rage as the words sank in. "This is a witch hunt and every single one of you will regret it," she hissed. She grabbed her clipboard and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The room exploded into relieved chatter the second she disappeared. Several neighbors came up to me afterward with genuine embarrassed apologies. "We had no idea she was lying to us the whole time, Dennis," they admitted. I nodded graciously because the war was finally over and won. In the weeks that followed, the neighborhood settled into real peace again. No random cars ever appeared in my driveway without my invitation. The new board focused only on actual issues instead of power trips. Karen put her house up for sale just a month after the meeting. She moved to another state and the rumors said she faced legal bills too. My driveway feels like my own private sanctuary every single day now. I pull in every evening with a quiet sense of deep satisfaction. The woman who weaponized every rule finally got towed by her own arrogance. Turns out the only parking spot Karen could never control was the one for consequences.